Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here, and it is time for another Masterverse figure, even Revelation Masterverse figure, and that's right, we're going all the way to Robotica and checking out Roboto. I've been excited about this one because I don't have the Classics Roboto or the Vintage Roboto. I passed on the Origins. The reason I didn't get the Classics is why spend all that money on an action figure after the fact, because you'd have to go to the third market for me to find him. I didn't get in on the first round when everyone says that he's breaking, his plastic is cracking, and he's falling apart. I looked at a few and thought about bidding. I think I even did bid a few times, but I didn't get him. And I'm excited to have a Roboto. And I think that the Roboto from the Revelation cartoon looked pretty cool. So let's check him out. There's his typical box, and there's the bio. If you want to pause and read that now, you can. All right, let's go ahead and break open Roboto. Check out that side art there. That is so cool. And that back art looking great. There's Roboto back there, or Robotica back there. A lot of robots. I brought out a lot of robots along with MOTU, who was in that first episode in the filmation with Roboto and he debuted. So let's check him out over here in our MOTU's secret underground laboratory. And right inside of MOTU's secret laboratory, as he is working on Faker there, other versions of Faker for Skeletor, and we have some other robots in the area, just checking out everything. And we're gonna first look at Roboto's accessories. And Roboto comes with two weapon holding hands. One of those, or possibly both of those, are removable, and you have like a laser cannon that you can put on his wrist, and then a cannon that you can also attach to his wrist. And then he comes with those swords that we saw when both of the halves of the power sword were split in two in the Revelation show. One that went to Praeternia and one that went to Despondos, I believe. Anyway, one went to hell, one went to heaven. And when they went on the search for it, they found them, and when they had both halves, they had to go to Praeternia inside of one of the Eternal Towers there, and Roboto is the only one powerful enough to take hold of them and put them in the beam of power there. Forget exactly what they called all that. And that's the representation of that. He held those when they were glowing, and they exploded, and it destroyed Roboto, or it blew him up there in that episode. And but he was the only one powerful enough to undergo that, to handle that, because he was in proxy there for Man-at-Arms, as you might know, because he was kind of programmed to be Man-at-Arms' son, or Man-at-Arms in a younger day, as Roboto kind of insinuated. But let's go ahead and take a look now at our Roboto's articulation. Okay, so as we're preparing to do our Roboto's articulation, I wanted to notice something first. I thought maybe at first that you popped off the hand to get to the place where you would plug in the attachments that he came with, but I was wrong. You actually pop off the entire gauntlet or forearm area, the mechanical forearm area, and that's when you, after you pop that off, then you're able to pop on the attachments. Now that explains why in some of the pictures I've seen, and I would thought, why did they just leave Roboto with no hand or no attachment? Well, they actually did have an attachment. They had that one, but when you put that one on there, it just looks like, you know, a cuff without a hand coming out of it is what it ends up looking like. And I was confused at why the individuals that were taking pictures on Instagram of this guy was not putting either a hand or an attachment there, but they were. So what you do is you don't remove the hand, you remove the entire cuff area, gauntlet area, and then you have to pop, and these are very, very hard to get on. Then you have to pop this piece on there, and that's when you have the attachment. So you can see that one actually looks like something's there. But if you put on the other one that he came with, in my opinion, boy, they're tight. And it was almost impossible to get the one that came on him off. It actually just looks like Roboto without a hand coming out there. I would have kind of expected it, to progress outward a little further. Looks like you should have his hand there or something, kind of thing. But you just pop this part off and pop these parts on. So I'll leave that cannon on there. I mean, you definitely see there's a hole in there, and you could definitely, get that going like a cannon. It just almost, to me, at first glance, looks like we forgot to put something on. Like, okay, now you're supposed to put the attachment on, but that is not the case. All right, moving on to the articulation. He really doesn't look up. A lot of these Masterverse figures, the head articulation has been disappointing, but that's as far as he can look up. He's not really looking up, he's just looking straight ahead, but he can look down a good amount. Gets a little bit of pivoting, not a whole lot, and of course can turn all the way around. There's no neck articulation. Well, there is and there isn't. There's nothing here, but there is here in the ball joint. And then the only other articulation part up here is this visor does move up and down like so. So you could kind of, have that little bit elevated downward, or simulate his talking, or, I don't know. But not my favorite head sculpt, but we'll do a switch out with the Roboto head that came in that Classics head pack in a few moments. Moving on to the arms, he will get 360. He'll get, T-pose, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that basically only get, looks like, no, they get better than 90. Yep, had to go a little bit further. Has the swivel and hinge at the wrist. No ab crunch this time, no diaphragm because of the mechanics, and you can see that's translucent plastic and it goes down in there, and that really, I like the way they did that. I do hate that we didn't get some form of articulation there. Looks like they could have maybe fitted in there with some kind of sliding mechanism behind this part to attach that down in there. They could have done it if they really wanted to, but we do not get that. But it is translucent all the way around to the back there. You can see almost, I guess that's the kind of the motherboard back there. Or maybe that's the fan, because he is a robot from the planet Robotica, where all the planet is made up of robots, and they're sentient beings. They have awareness, emotions, but they have been created, and they are, pretty cool. So I guess we could pretend that some of these other ones, but he does have swivel at the waist. He gets full splits. He does have thigh rotation. He can kick up about that far, kick back just a little bit. He does have double jointed knees, like so. And he has that leg part that came on our trap jaw, except it was all black on trap jaw. Those big knee pads a lot of people didn't like, but it looks pretty good on Roboto, I think. He also gets boot cut. He also will be able to get almost tiptoe, go up a good amount, and has excellent rocker. Now, my right foot, the ball joint is locked up. I cannot get it to go up and down. I even tried to heat it up, and I didn't want to break that forward-facing pin. So you have to be careful in case yours is that way as well. But overall, I think he looks kind of cool. I don't know, something about this diaphragm area, waist area, kind of looks a little too thick. I wish they had narrowed that down just a little bit. Definitely wish they had done a little bit more. I mean, I like the head sculpt on the Roboto, or the head that was on the Roboto in the cartoon, the Revelation cartoon, but I just think that this one is missing something. I'm just not sure. But you tell me what you think. But there we go. There is Roboto. Now, I will also say that I would like to, being that I do not like that particular head sculpt, I want to swap it out with that Classics head pack head that came of Roboto, that kind of is more inspired by the Mike Young production 2000X, 2002 He-Man and Masters of the Universe cartoon, and that's kind of the robot head that Roboto had. So let's check that out right now. All right, so of course that ball joint is too big. That comes with the Masterverse figures to go up inside of there, and this Roboto, the whole joint back up in there seemed to be even smaller than normal, so I just put a little tacky up in the hole and it's holding just fine. You're going to be able to use that just kind of and you're going to get better head articulation too. You're going to be able to look up a lot better, as you can see. Still have the articulated jaw like that head had, but that's an option. You could definitely do that, and it matches perfect. So if you're lucky enough to have that head and you want to use it on this Roboto, you certainly could. Now I made me a Roboto out of one of the like the space suit Superman. I molded a piece up here and used one of Skeletor's robots, little computerized thing on his chest there, to put it on there, and painted him up. And so I put that head on there and made my own Roboto a number of years ago, and I like him, so I'm not sure if I'll leave that head on this Roboto that I made or if I'll start using this dude here. But I do like the fact that he has that translucent chest. So I don't know. You see the tacky that I put up in there, so you can just stick it on there, and I'm a fan of him. I think he looks cool. I was really excited about getting a Roboto, an official Roboto, one that I have not made, and I like him. I think he's cool. All right, I'm gonna do a few photos, but thanks again for joining us for this Super Dave review. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment if you have something to share, and we'll see you next time. Be blessed.